It's time for Market Explainer, your number one business news podcast. Hosted by Danny and the big man. And it starts right now.
So we're going to jump into our next story, but before we do that, this was brought to you by Avenue Lucky. Avenue Lucky is my agency that develops websites and provides done-for-you marketing services. You can check it out at avenuelucky.com. A lot of our sponsors, if you go to my in-house projects page, you'll see a lot of the things that have been sponsored the last sponsor of the show. So we're going to jump into the palette cleanser. I don't know for... So this home built in Los Angeles, it was called The One. 105,000 square feet. Recently, it was sold to the CEO of Fashion Nova. So it's a real fashion-heavy episode today.
Well, we'll see if it clears the bank. It was sold at an auction.
He's a billionaire.
It was at an auction, and then sold at auction due to bankruptcy. Yeah. So the bankruptcy court has to approve it.
Did it go bankrupt? I thought it just was getting auctioned because he was behind. I don't think he went bankrupt.
It's in bankruptcy court. So before you go bankrupt, you go to bankruptcy court, and bankruptcy court gets all your assets and then decides how it's being sold. And that's one of the things with this is because in just this particular mansion, the debt that it's in charge of, the lien on it is $191 million.
Right.
Right? It only sold for what?
140, but then there's fees and stuff, so like 120 million.
Yeah, so 120 million, so 141 million.
27,
right?
I think 127 was the number. So let me just say a couple things first about this one. If you're a YouTuber, David Dobrik did a house tour of The One. Let me just say this off the rip, okay? Danny, child of Indian immigrants. I don't fit into a lot of stereotypes that people like me usually fit into, but if there's one that I'm wholeheartedly about, big house. Indian people love big houses. We like gold-colored fixtures, which sometimes are brass. But we love a big house. There's nothing. We love a big house. How many kitchens? 2 kitchens. We need 2.
I don't know what Indian people like. Okay, I don't know. But I will tell you that this house, 21 bedrooms.
Yes.
42 full bathrooms.
Correct. A nightclub.
7 half baths, nightclub, a private running track, a 40-seat movie, basically movie theater, right? All right. A cigar lounge.
Yes.
30 plus garage. 30 plus car garage.
Seems fine.
10,000 bottle wine cellar.
Yep.
5 pools.
Pepsi.
Five pools.
Yes.
Which includes a private pool outside of the master bedroom.
Correct.
And a 4-lane bowling alley.
Correct. So the developer of this property is a guy named Niall Niami. So that guy's name is fake. He's not even a real person. He's a hologram. Niall Niami, first of all, Niall, N-I-L-E, like the river, fake. Niami, Miami with an N, not real. So this person's fake, so the bankruptcy doesn't even matter because he's a hologram. Okay?
So, look, here's the deal. All right, you have this huge house, okay?
Which listen, I love like I said, love a huge house, want a huge house.
Sure.
But anything beyond 9,000 square foot, and now we're in psycho territory. Now we're in, hey, somebody broke into my house and moved into it, but it's on the other wing of the house.
Right. I don't know. You could destroy that entire wing. I have because I never go over there. Right. Like. Right. So look, but
I want a big house in the woods. I don't want it anywhere anybody can see it.
Well, look, it's in California, and it was designed by this guy. And look, nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. People call it the ugliest home they've ever seen. They call it the giant elephant because it's built with all this white stone, and its roof is made of these huge white stucco kind of power. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they call it ugly. So it's an ugly home.
But it's called The One.
I don't give a crap. Look, here's the deal. The original asking price when this home was being built, before it was in bankruptcy, the original asking price for this home was $500 million, right? $500 million. That's what they originally thought, hey, I'm going to I'm going to build this house. I'm going to sell it for $500 million.
Right. And do you know who the financier of this is?
No.
I forget what the guy's name is. He's worth about $6 billion. He owns a company called Westlake Capital, and they sell subprime loans on cars. Okay?
So,
they are the premier lender of buy here, pay here lots. The lot where you go to and they say, give us $2,000 down and we will finance this $300 car for you, and we'll at a rate of $500 a month. And when you miss one payment by 15 days, we just remote turn it off. That's the guy who financed this house.
Well, the idea doesn't sound crazy, right? Like I'm gonna spend $200,000 or $300,000, or no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna spend $1 million building this 100,000 square foot home and sell it for $500 million, right? Developers do this kind of stuff all the time.
It costs them 190 billion though. Eventually, 190 million.
But I'm just saying the initial idea. I'm going to spend 100. I'm going to whatever. So the initial idea doesn't sound crazy. Here's the problem though. This guy has spent at least $190 million building this home, which has got to be over budget. Got to be over budget. But here's the deal, Bubba. This is not even a livable home.
Right.
That's the other part of this. There is no certificate of occupancy because it's not done. Even live in it.
Okay.
You can't even, as far as California is concerned, even though the person that just bought, you can't bid it, it still needs an estimated $10 million
in finishing. So what initially, when Niall Naomi put this thing up for sale, I think he listed it at $200 some million, 290 something like that.
295.
And so he went back to his hard money lender. So if you don't know what a hard money lender is, basically when a normal person goes to the bank and they get all of this stuff, a hard money lender says, "Oh, you don't have to do any of that, but if you don't pay, I'm going to break your legs."
Well, okay, they're 2 steps away from that guy. Most hard money lenders do. Give you cash at a much higher interest rate. Yes, they're much
shy-locking. Right?
Yeah, exactly. They're shy-locking. They're not going to come for your knees, but they're going to get their money, right? Like
they're doing the white-collar version of breaking your kneecaps.
That is true because the interest they charge is insane.
So when I say they're breaking your kneecaps, well, here's what I actually mean. Proverbially,
financially speaking.
Yeah, and so the guy Niall Naomi is worth a reported $60 million. So, he's worth $2 now, right? But the reason I found this fascinating is just the stupidity of this house. You and I both know for $20 million, you and I can for $20 million build 10 of these in Dallas.
I can build a community for this, all right? I can build, so here's the deal, and this is what people don't understand completely
Alex
about.
Jones has a larger compound, and he paid $8 million.
Yes, but people don't understand
that number up, but yeah.
About bankruptcy and defaults on loans, and this would be considered a short sale, right? Because you're selling it for less than what it's owed, right? But here's the deal. Bankruptcy court, you say, is worth $60 million? Well, guess what? If the bankruptcy court approves this to sell it for $127 million and you owe Joe Bob $191 million, they can take your other $60 million. Just because they're willing to sell it for less doesn't mean you owe less. That's also, they have to decide that in bankruptcy court, right? There's different types of bankruptcy. It's not always forgive and forget.
Right.
If they decide that you can afford to pay, they make you pay.
Right. So the financier's name is Don Hankey. That's not the name of a wealthy person in America.
So you got Don Hankey and Niles Naomi.
Yeah. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the Fashion Nova guy, who's a billionaire from this kind of internet fast fashion boom, I think I don't know anything about Fashion Nova because I'm a man. But my presumption is it's the forever 21 of the internet, is what I gather.
But okay, look, and he's going to take a wash on this, but he's a billionaire, right? So it's fine.
He doesn't care.
But again, but people like that, if you're a billionaire, also have a tendency to want your money when you give it to somebody, right? So But again, bankruptcy court controls all of it. If the guy's worth $60 million, depending on how he has that $60 million, right?
If there's any liquidity,
or whatever,
they're coming.
If there's any liquidity, they're going to get some of that money, right?
So what's interesting about this also is, this is the largest home sale in California, right? It beat out, or it's second to Mark Andreessen, the infamed investor Mark Andreessen. And Mark Andreessen, who, if there's a dumb tech app out there, Mark Andreessen invested in it, right? Pando Daily, Mark Andreessen, like Andreessen Horowitz. There's no shortage of dumb things Andreessen Horowitz. Mark Andreessen made his money suing Microsoft for bundling Microsoft Internet Explorer with Windows.
With Windows, right.
He owned Netscape.
Creating an unfair advantage of other browsers.
Who even cares? Microsoft, 20 years later, Microsoft doesn't even have Internet Explorer. They had to go to a Chromium browser, which Google wasn't even a factor back then.
And Netscape hasn't existed in... I used to use Netscape.
Who didn't? The idea of explaining to your kid that the guy who invested in a dumb phone game, I actually don't know what Andreessen Horowitz invests in, but I just don't like Mark Andreessen because of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a lot of people. But the idea that you have to explain to them, well, he made his money from Netscape Navigator. You go, what's Netscape Navigator? And you just go, I don't
have the time. I don't have the time or the bandwidth.
I don't know, bro. It is whatever. Whatever it is.
This guy is... this house is an example. Not like Danny made it sound. This has nothing to do with the market. This has nothing to do with housing market. It has nothing to do...
Headline. It's clickbait.
It's just the fact that this house was a dumb idea from the get.
So stupid.
Somebody is going... Here's what's going to happen. Some rich person, ultimately, whoever moves into this house eventually, right?
Right.
Is going to have this great story of how they paid nothing. They got nothing. They paid nothing for this deal.
So that was the one thing that I liked. I wanted to bring up, rather, was that Niall Niami told Don Hankey that, this thing is, like, we're way over budget. We're never going to get the COA, the certificate of occupancy. We're never going to be able to, like whatever. And so Don Hankey's like, yeah, well, what are you going to do? And if you ever I've never dealt with these people, but I'm just saying, if you deal with an investor, you understand, like, you have to convince them there's a path. He said, this won't be a residence. We'll just turn it into an entertainment venue, and we'll host celebrity boxing matches, and we'll just let influencers come here.
Parties, and they tried everything to get money. Like, this again, I don't know this Niles Niami, but he's probably, quote unquote, a con artist, because he drug these people along. Right?
Yeah.
Because and then you start throwing events and you start throwing boxing matches. Yeah. All of this was to raise money to try and finish this home, because that's the payday, right? That's the payday, is to sell the home, right? And just couldn't string it along long enough.
I think that's what I thought his idea was. I don't know that they actually did parties there, but maybe they did. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, well, according to this and a couple of other they tried everything.
I watched the video of a home tour. And Niles Niami is giving the home tour, and there's never been a guy that I've wanted a baby bird barf into his mouth before, but he's one guy. I want to get on a ladder and just go right into your mouth.
Yeah,
but some people opens the door and says, he opens the door and he says, "Hi, I'm Niles Niami. I'm the one, and this is the one, L.A." And I thought, if this guy can go bankrupt,
gross.
Thank you, Jesus. That he deserves. If there's anybody in the history of people that deserves to go bankrupt, there are warlords who don't deserve it as much as Niles Niami. Okay,
I don't agree with that. That's Danny's statement.
2012, Joseph Kony, let him live on a beach somewhere. This guy deserves it.
That's awful. All right, Danny, give us your stupid tip of the week so that we can all go on about our business. Even though you did have one last week that I finally agreed with.
Okay. Well, some people say that success is the best revenge, and I found that actual revenge is more satisfying.
It's not, folks. Don't take anything Danny tells you as right or true.
Yes, it is.
Or
yes,
whatever.
It is.
We'll see you next time, folks.
Take care now.